they will claim that their book is the right book.
We don't deny the Torah, we don't deny the Bible. What happens after I die? I need an answer.
What's in this book?
And it's not a game. Wherever you read these verses in the Quran,
Yes.
it could lead you to hellfire.
This religion is only for Arabs. No need to share it with anybody.
This is one of the beautiful aspects. You are a slave. You are a slave.
Why the Quran is so concerned about women?
Even if you are born a Muslim, it's not enough.
So what you're saying is protecting women from men?
Sometimes even religious people say, she deserves that. That's not true.
God gave me beauty and I want to share this beauty with everybody. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to Dome Podcast. And today we want to take you through the journey of the final revelation. And today we have an honorable guest. Our guest is Engineer Seif Al Ruhaili. Assalamu alaikum, Engineer Seif.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you today?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here with you.
Alhamdulillah. Engineer Seif Al Ruhaili is an electrical engineer and also an active member at the Islamic Information Center. Brother Seif, we're going to talk today about the final revelation, which is the glorious Quran. And of course, we have 1.9 billion Muslims around the world following this final revelation. And maybe other people in the universe still don't know about this final revelation. So today we have a task to clarify some aspects of this final revelation. But to start off, Brother Seif, what do we mean by revelation?
Okay, so the Holy Quran is the word of Allah. And Allah is the only one who has the right to legislate, to give the final judgment on every single matter that is related to our life. So whatever arguments we have, whatever discussion we have, whatever subject we can rise and discuss about, we need at the end to get a final judgment, a final decision on it. And there is no book on earth can give you that except the final revelation, the word of Allah, the holy book, the Quran. And that's why we need some reference. We need a reference that we can agree on. And that is sound, that is logic, that is actually just to answer any question that would rise in our daily lives, even if we have arguments between Muslims ourselves. So we need something, a reference that we can discuss or can refer to.
Brother Seif, we have so many books now, religious books.
Right.
How can we label one book as being the revelation and other books are just books? What differentiates from a book and another, which is considered to be a revelation?
Right. So the other books, we don't deny them. We don't deny the Torah. We don't deny the Bible. But we can say that the only book that does not have any misconception, any mistakes in the reference and in the logic to implement is the only book now available on earth is the holy book, the Quran. So the other books were only for that time of period between people. But now we need a final universal message or book that can connect all the humans on earth to a symbol or a single reference, which is the holy book, the Quran.
You know, when you sit and read the Holy Quran, you can open any page and start reading. It's not connected with one another, and it has so many things. But for people who are approaching this book for the first time, what's in this book? What are they expecting to find in this book?
I could say that there are three questions. These are fundamental questions for any human. The first one is, who brought me here? Why I exist? Why I am here? why there are sufferings, for every single question of why towards your life, you need an answer.
Yes.
That's the first question. The second one is where am I going? So I know that by agreement I will die. But
everybody's going to die.
Everyone is going to die. So what happens after I die? I need an answer. So I can actually manage my life, manage my desire, manage my character. So, and who is the one I am meeting? So after I die. These three fundamental questions are the ones you need a revelation to tell you, and you wouldn't find it anywhere on earth except in the holy book, the Quran.
So I understand that this information will be found in this book. Is there anything else in the book?
Right.
Like stories, like teachings or anything else?
Yes. So what would happen that you need some guidance. So let's say now you declare that there is no God but Allah. So what is next? How can I connect with my Lord? How can I call him for prayer? How can I show my act of worship when I am at work, when I'm at home, when I am in the markets, when I'm dealing financial deals, whatever I do. So I need some guidance on how to connect, what is the exemplary or what is the method of living a life that actually will save me from what is happening after death. So that will come in forms of stories, in forms of commandments, in forms of comparison, let's say, between the bad and the good. And it gives you, it can cover everything your mind, heart, and body needs in these forms of telling these instructions.
Are these stories that you're talking about unique for this revelation?
I would say that every single story is needed in your life. Every single word, every single letter is precisely revealed that can actually heal something required in your life.
Not needed, unique.
Unique. Yes.
It means they can only be found
exactly
in the Quran.
So there are lots of stories, let's say, about the previous prophets. But if you go read them from the other books, you will be completely shocked because they give half the truth, and the other half is something does not actually belong to logic at all, and you cannot actually benefit from that. So there are some accusations to some prophets that they have committed major sins. They are behind wealth.
Give us some examples so that we are practical.
So
give us some examples.
Like Prophet Noah, peace be upon him.
Yes.
So in the Quran, it tells you how decent he was for a long period of time, how consistent he was, maybe for 950 years.
Yes.
But when you go to other revelations, you find out that he drank wine and he was caring about himself, although he was actually a prophet that trying to save the humanity at that time and warning them from the punishment of Allah. So it doesn't make sense that at one side, this a prophet I need to follow, and the other side I would find him that he is actually drinking wine, going drunk, and like these stories where you would find that about even Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, where he's glorious in the Quran, he's not that much in the other books, because there were some changes made purposely to divert you from having the full picture, the full truth about these selected or chosen people or men so you could follow.
I have a logical question.
Yeah.
People who are born in a particular faith, automatically they will be following that faith.
Right.
So Muslims who are born in a Islamic environment, Islamic families, Islamic communities, they will claim that their book is the right book. Other communities which are following different faith, they were born in that circumstance, in that faith, they will also claim that their book is right, and what they're following is right, and what other people are following is wrong. So Is there a solid justification in this book, in the Quran, that can stand with the case that you're presenting?
Right. So there are this argument is based on the whether you believe or you believe and do and perform. So you would find in all the verses you read in the Quran said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ.
Yes.
Those who believe and then accordingly they have performed
Yes.
based on their belief. There is no one can tell you we are a practicing Christian or a practicing Jew that I am actually practicing every legislation and every instruction written in my book. This is a big argument. So, but in the Quran, it's easy to say. You cannot just claim that you are a Muslim unless you prove it by your performance. So this can actually raise the question, if I am Christian, or if I am a Jew, or whatsoever religion you follow, are you actually following your book? And then you will find you said, no, we are non-practicing. So non-practicing means you are not actually a follower of that religion.
So let me interrupt you a little bit. You have also so many Muslims who claim to be Muslims, but they don't practice their faith. And at the same time, you said that you have to follow everything in your faith. Does all Muslims follow everything in their faith?
That's the struggle, and it's a fair struggle, actually.
Yeah.
Even if you are born a Muslim, it's not enough to go to heaven and to become a true believer. You need to go into that path. You need to walk into it. You need to walk into the meanings of sacrifice with the fighting of your desire. So, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ means you need to work. So you could claim, that's okay, it's easy. You could say, I believe, it's easy, it's simple. I believe or I bear witness there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is the Prophet. But what is after that? Once you declare that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, is a prophet,
yes,
it means that whatever he brings for you, it means something to follow. And that debate actually raised lots of arguments between even the scholars of the religion, because they say, is it enough just to say there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet, and khalas, we're done? Yes. No. You need to follow. And that argument is understood very clearly during the message, the start of the message of Islam between the tribe Quraysh, the leaders of Quraysh.
So let me for the sake of argument, you're saying if someone believes in a book and then they follow the instructions in the book, then they become the true believers of that religion or faith.
Exactly.
Yeah? So if we go to the other faith like Christianity and Judaism, if they follow everything in the book, does that make them on the right path?
This is the beauty of the argument. They cannot follow everything in that book because
why is that?
It is man-made. It's not fully from Allah. So it cannot actually be applicable to our daily lives. That's very interesting. If you go one by one, verse by verse, it cannot be applicable to our daily life. There are lots of horrific verses where it cannot be implemented even. Yes. It doesn't even make sense for a person to follow. And that's when they said, just exactly what now they are doing. They said, just claim there is a son of a God and you're done. It doesn't make sense. Even with the religion of Islam, it wouldn't make sense just to believe. You need to follow something. So the only religious book on earth today that can be followed, practiced, is the Holy Quran. And that itself is an evidence that this book is from the Creator himself, not from any other person.
Okay, let us be more practical. You're saying that this is the only book that can be practiced.
Yeah.
How do you practice this book?
How do you practice?
Give me some example of our modern day life. How do I practice this Quran?
Right.
We have it at home. It's in the shelves. We read it in our prayers. We read it on a daily basis. So how do we practice this Quran?
Okay. So I'll give you like an example. There are lots of examples actually. So let's talk about interest. No matter how rich...
You mean banking interest?
Banking interest.
Okay.
So no matter how rich you are, there is no way you are authorized to use that money to create interest of riba. Okay?
Usury.
Yes. It's direct instruction commands. If you do that, it's like you are committing the highest or one of the highest sins, major sins on Quran. So you say, but I have the money, I have the wealth
to pay,
but there is a restriction, you cannot do it.
Yeah.
It's direct. So let's say you have, and again, another example, let's say you can reach as much as you can of women from whatsoever, from anywhere on the earth. Adultery is haram, is forbidden. So, and there is limitations. And once you want to commit to a woman or you want to engage with a woman, there are set of legislations of yeah.
If you allow me, I will take you a little bit back to what you said, that this religion is logical, it fulfills the needs of a person, and then you gave example of women.
Yes.
Now, if we have been given these desires by the creator of the heavens and the earth, the desire for the opposite sex,
right?
And now you're restricting me and telling me that I can't have all the women that I want.
Yeah.
How is this logical? How is this practical to today's life? Because I already have the desires inside me.
Exactly. So the desire is meant to be to become as a drive for higher purpose. We are not animals just to fulfill here our desires. This is clearly stated in the Quran. This is not a game. You are in a mission. So whatever desire you have,
yes,
it should be like a drive, okay, like an ignition to do something very with higher meaning missions. So let's say you have a desire for a man. Of course, if you have no desire, you will not get married.
Yes.
Then you will not produce kids.
Yes.
And then you will be living like your life aside. But if you have a desire,
yes,
so that's a drive to be committed to engaged with a woman for creating a family. And once you say, I want to get married, immediately you'll find a list of authorities and responsibilities, what you are, and it's not a game. Wherever you read these verses in the Quran,
yes,
it could lead you to hellfire. Even though you are a Muslim, it says if you do this, if you violate this, and you say, this is only a marriage. No. It's not a game. It's serious. It's a mission. And people don't realize that. Whatever desire you have a desire for money. You have a desire to collect money. But then again, there is restrictions.
So it's not okay that I have a desire for the opposite sex. Okay, I want to get married, but I don't want a family. That's not my purpose. So is that okay for me?
It's not okay at all. This is the thing. If a woman said, I want to get married, but I don't want to give birth. Said, wait a minute. No. Why you don't want to give birth? Do you have health issues? Or you just don't wish to? Then it will lead to lots of this logical discussion, lead to religion, that rights and wrong, the purpose, etc. So it's not that easy to just say I'm free. You're not free. In the religion of Islam, this is one of the beautiful aspects. You are a slave, and you need to declare.
Is that a good thing?
It's very good because
In what way?
You have to worship something. You are designed, manufactured, created to worship something. You only select. You're given the free choice to select. That's clearly stated. But what you worship, the best thing you worship, the one who created you.
Yes.
And the act of worship to follow his instructions, commands, and legislations.
Now, Engineer Seif, we have this book. That is the final revelation, the Quran. It's somehow a blueprint or a roadmap, that I need to follow.
Right.
How do I deal with this book? Where do I start? What do I do? People are in different levels of intelligence, of intellectuality, and so on. So how do I deal with the Quran?
This is a very interesting question because this message is considered universal. And as you stated, we are different. We have certain levels of understanding. We have several level of strength. Some people can do this. Some people cannot do this. It's very clear in the Quran said, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. You worship Allah to the maximum of your level of strength. And so the Quran is not book only of knowledge.
What do you mean? Can you explain this verse?
So,
what does it mean?
So the Quran is requesting or asking or giving the commands that you need to recite Quran. Okay. But what is the volume of my reading? to recite Quran. This depends on you only.
You mean the
recitation?
The recitation,
only even
the volume.
recitation.
Okay.
So you say فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْ. Because we are different. We have different situations. Some of us might be sick. Some of us might be very busy with other missions that are higher to survive. But you need to decide what is the maximum that you can do. So this is the beauty of the book. So the strength, you can see it in every aspect when it said لِيُنْفِقْ ذُو سَعَةٍ مِنْ سَعَةٍ. So you're a husband. So how much spending can we say it's okay? If you are rich,
spending for your family.
Mm-hmm. So if you're rich, your obligation towards your family is different if you're poor. Although you are requested to spend, and you might be considered a sinner if you collect the money and you are like, let's say you're cheap with your family. That's considered like a violation of the legislations, because min sa'atihi. So what is your strength? This is again.
So what you're trying to explain, if you have two husbands, one is rich and one is poor, they both need to spend on their families. The first one will provide a villa.
Correct.
For his family.
Yeah.
That is their capability or capacity.
Exactly.
The second one is not required to provide a villa, can provide an apartment.
And that's what the mastata'tum means, the maximum you can. And that's it. So let's say you want to pray at night, and maybe your physical strength that you get tired. So no one can say you need to be praying for 2 hours straight. Maybe you cannot, but you can at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
This is very interesting, because wouldn't this make other people better than me in the sight of the Creator? So for example, you are a businessman and I am a normal person. When it comes to spending to the poor, you will spend $1 million. I'm able to spend 10 riyals only.
Right.
This will make you better than me. How can I compete with you?
Right. So again, this is very interesting question, because it actually what it serves, that this is a book of light. So it gives you the light, and then it will enlighten your soul. So let's say your example, someone rich and he can spend lots of money and he gains lots of marks and rewards.
Yes.
But the roads to Allah are countless, endless. So we don't know actually which road is better than the other. So let's say if you recite one chapter of the Quran, for each letter there are one hasana, one mark, and that will be
one reward. Yeah.
One reward.
Yes.
So while this guy is spending money and making business, you can only recite Quran as much as you can, and you might even overcome his because there are, maybe you are a good son to your mother.
Yes.
And you are taking care of your mother. That's an act of worship. Maybe you are actually you are breaching through the path of Allah. You're spending lots of time.
Yes.
The critical part is the time on what you spend. So there is not only one option, one road to reach Jannah, to reach the ultimate prize, which is paradise. But this is the beauty. So one guy, maybe his mother is gone. She passed away.
Yes.
So what now? You cannot go to heaven. And the other guy, his mother maybe lived for 100 years, and he's taking care of his mother, and he's taking all the rewards. But there are other roads for you now. You can walk in to reach the path of Allah, or the final road.
Engineer Seif will continue with this point after a short break.
Sure. Okay.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to Dome Podcast with my honorable guest, Engineer Seif Al Ruhaili. Welcome back, Engineer Seif.
Thank you.
So it was very interesting, you explaining the different way to give or to reach to your Lord. Yeah, but I'm very much attracted to a phrase you used in the beginning. You said, this is a universal religion. I thought this religion is only for Arabs, because the revelation, the one you're talking about, is in Arabic.
Right.
Can you kindly
So-
explain a little bit?
Yes, and this is again a subject of discussion and lots of debates around that message actually. But the only evidence, you could see Muslims today all over the world. You could see them in Australia. I'm speaking about native people. You could see them in Australia, you could see them in the United States, you could see them in the United Kingdom, you could see them in Russia, you could see them in China, you could see them in India, you could see them in Pakistan, you could see them in Iran, you could see them. It's everywhere. And you cannot claim that you are the only one who can understand this message. So if you try, let's say you are from Arabian countries, and you say, Allah stated in the Quran that adultery is okay. Maybe a guy from Pakistan will object to your message, and he's non-Arabic, and he can challenge you on that statement you bring.
How is it possible?
How is
And the majority of them don't speak the language.
They learn, and they learn the language. It's simple. It's easy for them. And
So let me understand this. For you to become Muslim, you need to learn Arabic. You can't be a Muslim without learning Arabic.
I wouldn't say that, because it's not the language. Of course, you need to recite the Quran in Arabic. But
Yes.
we've seen cases where people are actually reciting the Quran in Arabic and they don't understand. This is a book of light. So the book of light can give you the directions to Allah. So you could say it in any language that Allah forbid adultery. But the concept is the same. Having a relationship with a woman is forbidden except through the route of marriage. That's a universal message now wherever you go. If you go to Indonesia, you go to Australia, and you tell them you're Muslim,
So people who are reciting the Quran in Arabic, they don't understand what it says, the actual words. But what you're saying is they understand the meaning, the concept.
even if they don't understand the meaning, they could ask. They could understand it. They could ask, what is the translation? What Allah is asking from me to do here?
So this does this bring us back to square one? Is that for someone to become a Muslim, to be able to practice this faith
Yeah.
or follow this final revelation, he always needs a mediator, someone to explain to him.
Not a mediator,
the
I would
message.
say. Even we are Arabs. There are
Yes.
lots of verses. We need to discuss them with scholars.
Yes.
That's a special task for those who are intelligent
Yes.
type of people. with
Intellectual.
where they can actually get the meaning, and then they can give it to you or explain it for you. We need that.
Yes.
And there is not a single one who can claim that he understands the full Quran.
Yes.
That's why it's universal. That's why, because there are ones who there are scholars non-Arabic, and they brought lots of concepts from the Quran the Arabs couldn't bring. So that's why it's universal. And not only that, the act of worship can be practiced easily, regardless of your country or your language, because you are asked to practice, not only to understand the message.
I'm very much interested when I look at previous messages that came. Every prophet was sent to a particular nation. Arabs also received a prophet from their nation.
Right.
Why wasn't this faith only confined to Arabs, like everybody else? This religion is only for Arabs. No need to share it with anybody
This
else.
is not a religion for Arabs. The proof that some of the verses, some of the relatives of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ are Arabs, and they couldn't accept this message. The request or the requirements of this message, it's universal. It's for every human being. So if it was only for Arabs, then you're supposed to assume that all Arabs are Muslims today. But you see Arabs who are Christians or Jews or atheists, and because to accept the message, there are certain requirements as a human being to surrender to it. But the language is in Arabic because our Prophet is Arabic.
Yes.
So it came in his tongue.
Yes.
The message came in his tongue. So he was Arabic. So the message will come in Arabic, the final message or the final revelations.
Now, if you allow me, I will take you a little bit deep
Okay.
about a topic in the Quran that a lot of people from other faith, they considered it as a controversial topic, which is the woman. And we find that there are verses in the Quran very specific to the outfit of a woman, the modesty, the beauty, so many instructions in that area. Can you kindly explain a little bit why the Quran is so concerned about women?
Yes. So this is really like a hot topic everywhere. Women are the subject of today, and everyone is having his or her say, whether in the outfit, whether in the privilege, whether in their rights, whether in their whatsoever is related to women. And that's why, and it's interestingly, in the Quran, it also highlights in details about women, how they wear, how they walk, how they talk, every single details about them. Why? Because this is not for all women. This is only for the Muslim woman. Because a woman also, our life is short, and you want to reach the path of Allah, you want to reach paradise. So you need the guideline, you need the instructions how to approach that. And for a woman, it's completely different than for a man. Biologically, they are different. Okay, their emotions.
But is it fair that all the attention is for women, and you don't find similar attention to the man?
Yes. So we believe actually there is a lots of instructions. There are lots of commands. There are lots of verses where it warns men that they cannot violate the rights of women. And you could see them.
So please give us examples, because I want I want to understand this more. Give us examples.
So
let us start with the aspect of women, their outfit, their beauty, and everything else.
Yes. So there is no system available today can protect women from sexual assaults or harassments. There is not available one system, regardless of what it is.
So not a bodyguard, not a pepper spray.
Nothing can
learning martial arts.
All the statistics reveal that there is no valid system can protect women, protect the spirit, protect the emotions of a woman in an honor way.
Yes.
So there are lots of efforts made. Some of them are good. Some of them are really having good intention, but always the system fail.
So what you're saying is protecting women from men?
From men, of course. Yes. Yeah. So the case is.
So we are the bad people. Eh?
We are the not enemy. Bad, but we have basic instincts.
Yes.
So not all men will surrender to this book. That's for sure. So they don't care about legislations when they say do not, for instance, lower your gaze when you see a woman walking or a woman is talking. In the same manner, women are told to cover their beauty.
Yes.
Okay, do not show up, okay, for the sake just to show up your beauty for certain types of men. Why? Because it's not comfortable when someone is looking at you in lust, right? Even if you are a man.
But Engineer Seif, in today's world, if you see in social media, women want to be looked at. They are craving for attention. They're doing the extreme just to attract men. I might be wrong, but this is the general thing that is there.
You're not wrong. That's again basic instinct to women. They want to be looked at as beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. So they want to say I am beautiful. So
yes.
We're not saying that every woman that is showing her beauty, she is actually intending to something bad.
Yes.
But the Quran, again, consider you as a slave to protect you, to guide you. So it tells you we have desires, but how to control it. So let's say, why would you want to show your beauty? That's a fundamental question. And for whom you are trying to show your beauty? What is your purpose? You should answer that question. You said so for fame, that's not allowed.
So let's say, for example, God gave me beauty, and I want to share this beauty with everybody.
This is the exact
why is this bad?
That's the exact concept that I am free. You're not free. You're a slave. You have a mission. Like a man would say, I have lots of money. why you are restricting me to do whatever I want? I said, if you're a Muslim, then there are restrictions. It's logical to say that you're a slave, so you need to hear and obey. That's very straightforward verse in the Quran. We hear and we obey.
Now, Engineer Seif, this life would be miserable if we have beauty we can't show, we have money we can't spend, we can't do anything. And you're calling us a slave. What sort of life would this be?
So that's let's see what would the result if we are free to do whatever we want.
Yes.
To what extent we can actually regulate the freedom to do whatever we want, and how much harm we would cause. Now, let's say this is I cannot actually give, but it goes from all the hierarchical system. Let's say I'm a king, I can do whatever I want because I have power. No, you're a king, but here's the authorities and responsibilities. But you said, I am a husband, so here's the authorities, here's the responsibilities. I am a woman, here's the authorities, here's the responsibilities. That's why, because you're a slave to Allah and you want guidance, because on your own, let's see what are the results, what are the consequences, what would happen if you have a money and do whatever you want.
Okay, now I want to share with you a documentary I watched. It was filmed in one of the Arab countries, which is highly populated, and there is a very high rate of sexual harassment for women, especially in the transport system.
Yeah.
And the majority of this community are Muslims. And when people who are interviewed in the streets why this is happening, all of them, the majority agreed that it is because the way women dress up. They don't wear modest clothes. Now, this brings me to my question. As a Muslim, does it give you the right, if a woman is not wearing modestly, for you to transgress?
This is a question or answered in the story of the Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, the son of Jacob or Yaqub. So it was not only the wearing, it was a direct invitation to commit adultery, and not only by one woman. And the story was specifically telling lots of details as messages for you.
Yes.
So the doors are closed, the place is secured, the invitation was direct. Haytalak, come to me. And even at that position, and he's single, right? Even at that situation, he does not see any right to violate or harass or take advantage of a woman that is not his wife. So he said, Ma'ad Allah, innahu Rabbi. I seek protection from Allah. Why? Because situation.
I seek protection to Allah.
To Allah. So yes, so I seek protection to Allah. I want to be saved from this situation because I am struggling now. وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ. He was actually complaining about the invitations he received, the direct invitations.
Yes.
So if it's direct invitation and you have no right, to harass a woman. So what about if it's her clothes, her way of talk?
It's her decision that
that's another
what
subject.
She wants to do.
So she's violating something.
Yes.
So she's violating.
Or she's contributing in this.
But that does not give the right for a man to do or to act based on what she's wearing. And then I hear lots of sometimes even religious people say she deserves that. That's not true. That's not religious. That's naughty. That could actually lead to violating commands from Allah, that you have no authority to attack or to take advantage. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. There's no way you have the authority, regardless of what the situation. It's exactly the same as you find a way to collect money.
Yes.
Okay, you have direct access and say, no one watching, I will not be caught, so let's have as much as I can. No. You will be punished. You will be accountable and responsible for that act, not because of the situation, actually.
Before we go for the break, Engineer Seif, the other aspect is when it comes to some of the Muslim young men, you would see a man with his wife, the wife is covered from head to bottom, modestly, and the husband wearing shorts or without a shirt or swimming, in a very inappropriate way.
Right.
And the majority of the community will only look at the woman that, she's not wearing a scarf, she's not wearing modestly. But what about the man? Is the Quran saying anything about the modesty of the man?
So this is very challenging, actually, subject, especially in the countries where tribalism came over the religion, and let's say the culture also.
Yes.
So the culture actually encourage men to do whatever they want, and then they give restriction to women because actually they represent their honor. So that was the concept. But in the religion of Islam, women and men, let's say the Muslim woman and Muslim man, they are considered as allies. Okay, they are working together. They are not enemies. They are not competitors in terms of daily life or our desires or our acts or our behaviors towards anything. We are not enemies. So you cannot say for a man, do whatever you want. There are no consequences. And you say, and that has the impact where women started to make movements towards their rights because they think this is not religious. This is more of culture to take advantage of the situation. And it's growing very fast and big because the violation was said, man, wear whatever you want wherever you are. So maybe you are at the beach, so you don't care. But for the woman, she needs to be very restrictive, and she should be very aware because she is a woman. But in the Quran, it does not give you that right to do whatever you want just because you're a man. You're responsible about yourself and about her. In the Quran, it says if she's your wife, you have the green light to fight for her honor, even if it costs you your life. If it costs
so you should protect her.
You should protect her to that limit. This is how the Quran views the relation between man and a woman, like a husband and a wife. So he said, in the narration of the Prophet Muhammad وَالْمَيِّتُ دُونَ عِرْضِهِ شَهِيد. He is high in the highest rank if he sacrificed his life for the sake of her honor. But this is not how viewed now daily, and this is not how they feel when it comes to the marriage constitutions or the marriage. They think this is how to take advantage of each other in the name of the Quran.
I have more to talk about men and women, but let us take another short break and continue after that, inshallah.
Of course, okay.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to Dome Podcast with my honorable guest, Engineer Seif Al Ruhaili. Welcome back, Engineer Seif.
Marhaba, welcome.
Now, there is a very interesting concept in the final revelation, the Quran. The concept is Al-Qiwama. And a lot of men translate this as being bossy. And it's a controversial issue between men and women. Can you elaborate more about this so that we understand better what does the Quran mean by this concept, al-qiwama?
This is really, really a sensitive subject. Yes. And it's actually emerging, and it creates not debate only in our communities. It's a universal debate today.
Yes.
What does the Quran mean by qiwama, or the authority has been given, and why the Quran actually talks to men in that manner that الرجال قوامون على النساء. It gives like a sense that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
is preferring men over
like
women.
Preferring men over women. Mm-hmm. And then the those who are actually hate the religion of Islam, they thought they found opportunity here that
Yes.
to attack the religion, to provoke women emotions, that look what is the Quran saying, look what they said Allah is saying. But actually this is a very complicated subject, and it is related to the authorities and responsibilities again.
I understand it's a very complicated subject. How can we simplify it?
How we will simplify that? See, I'll give you an example at work.
Yes.
So at work you have a boss and you have an employee.
Yes.
And let's say this boss is a man, and the employee is a woman. That's for that case. Immediately the company will say, here is the list of authorities from you as a manager or as a head section or whatsoever, and here are the responsibilities, and you need to drive this company or department
Yes.
to the maximum let's say performance is expected from you. It's exactly the same where the woman as an employee will actually work towards these KPIs and instructions, restrictions. She understands them well. This is a contract. We will have a contract, and I will agree to this contract based on these requirements. Same goes, let's say, with the husband and wife. So this is a contract, and they mention this aqd nikah. It's a contract of marriage.
Okay, let me stop here a little bit. Why isn't it the other way around? The qiwama is given to the woman and the man follows. And why isn't it like without a qiwama, where the instructions from God is clear? Both parties just follow the instructions. Each one has a different set of instructions. They just have to follow.
So
why someone has to follow someone else?
Fine. So the qawama is not authority to be abused. The qawama is an authority so you can fulfill the responsibilities required from you. We are biologically different. Woman is not the same as a man.
Yes.
This is a fundamental concept in everywhere. You cannot reach to equality in the terms what they are trying to provoke or trying to advertise for. So women, let's say, why men doesn't give birth to kids or babies? Because that's the biological difference. You will give birth, okay? You will be responsible about taking care of the baby at that. And there are lots of legislations for the woman at that part. And then once the baby is growing, he would become a son or a daughter to that mother. Then a lots of regulations comes for those kids towards their parents.
Yes.
It's a set of regulations that try to protect the family. And you are as a man, again, it's talking about the spendings. You will spend whether you like it or not. You will collect money, you will go to work, and then you need to spend. And this in the laws, and it's
spend for your family.
Spend for your family,
yes,
with no returns. You're responsible about your wife, clothes, food, shelter, bills.
Even if she's rich and capable and working.
And that's true. Even you have no right to have any access to her money without her will, regardless of how rich she is, because her responsibility is completely different. And women are enjoying this. They're enjoying this privilege. Once they can work and they can get money, immediately they will claim this that I am not obligated to spend my money for the family. And that's completely true. But again, what you are obligated with, how to construct the family.
Yes.
So that's when men also try to take advantage that I am responsible, so I only give orders. No, not only orders, but you respond. Remember when I said that you need to fight for the sake of this family, so this family will rise in the umbrella of the Quran. That's your responsibility.
So this responsibility was given to the man because of his physical structure?
That's only one part. The second part that the woman have, or the wife has other responsibilities to fulfill.
Yes.
So she cannot do both. If she does both, she will fail. Same goes for the man. If you obligate the man to do lots of things, I'm not talking about the housework because this is not mentioned. I'm talking about the taking care of the husband and the family, the kids, in the terms that when you create a peaceful family, connected, and you cannot be as merciful as a mother to a kid, even if you try your best. That's something in her heart. Once she become a mother, that's a unique feature for the woman, not for the father. It's in her heart. The sacrifice she is willing to provide for her kids, for their safety, for their education, for their health, is completely different from the aspect for the man.
You mentioned something previously that men and women are not enemies, they're not competitors, they are allies. But this is not what we see in today's world. They're competing in jobs, they're competing in business, they're competing even in areas which are not suitable for one another. I give an example.
Okay.
Today, if you look at the makeup industry, the best makeup artists are men. If you look at cooking, fashion design, you name it, all the areas where a woman should shine, a man shines. And then you see in the area of a man, like weightlifting, the army, working in the desert, in the rig, you find also a woman trying to compete with a man in his area. So what's going on exactly, and what is the Quran saying about this?
Okay, so this is the privilege of the civilization now we are living in,
Yes.
where it gives or provides the opportunity for everything. You can even change your sex, your gender today's, and you can claim you are not a man or you're not a woman. That's a privilege provided in this civilization, and we cannot deny that. But now, and the options are unlimited, where you could actually choose where you wanna
Yes,
spend your life.
some people change. They go through surgery. They change their features to look like a cat. They have fangs. They change their ears.
This is the advancement. Yes, this is the advancement.
They do all sort of crazy
course.
stuff. Yeah.
So this is the advancement of the civilization we are living in. But you, as a Muslim, you have a mission. So you could compete for the sake of quality of work, no problem. But I'm speaking about when there is a deal or a connection between man and a woman. Let's say the connection or the Islamic connection between a man and a woman as wife and husband.
Yes.
How should it be? How should it be in competing way, or should it be in collaboration and
Yes.
respect? The man could be a son and the woman could be a mother. So what is the relation here? What can I do? What am I not allowed to do? The woman could be a daughter and the man could be a father. So what are the communications here? All these, when it comes to mere competition, okay, who knows best, who can do more, immediately it collapses this relation.
I think I look at it to give a practical example of the companionship, the partnership, the complementation between the two is when a thief enters a home, the father goes to protect the family and he will fight to death to chase that thief out, and the mother will comfort the children to make them, not to be terrified of that experience. So the mother, with the skills that Allah gave her, she is the right person to do that. And the father, with the physical abilities that Allah has given, is the right person to do that role, to fight the enemy and so on. Of course, today you have women doing taekwondo and kung fu.
You can present it in another way, where if you are a mother, it's not only toward yourself, but now you have kids, and these kids deserve to have a mother.
Yes.
An actual mother. So you're not free, because that kid will be looking for a mother that will give him whatever as a creature wants from a mother.
Yes.
So you cannot deny him from that right. You will violate if you choose to do anything beside or aside from the legislations or from the commandments of Allah. Definitely you will fail, because you have now responsibility towards lots of, even if you are a wife, at the same time maybe you are a daughter to a mother, so you have some responsibilities toward that mother. Even if you are a woman, let's say single woman, you could be a sister, so there are obligations. You cannot get away from that, where you could live alone with you can cut all the attachments of a family just to say or do whatever you want, because that exactly will lead to depression and becoming lost. And the question will arise, why I'm here?
Okay, let me take you a little bit further. There are a lot of feminist movements out there. Are they a better replacement for the concepts of Islam and the teachings of the Quran?
So feminist movements actually they could be they are trying to highlight the failures available in the current systems, and it's not Islamic. Actually, it came from the West when they found out that the system is failing to provide the basics needs for a woman. So you could speak about the maternity leave. So there is a huge debate. So a working woman, okay, she gave birth. How many days you should give her? Why she need to struggle with her baby? He need the breastfeeding. She has these emotions. Can you make her choose between the salary and her kids when the salary is actually a provision to survive? Lots of questions raised during regarding women because of their she's a woman and she's attractive, but how you can save her from sexual assaults at work? What are the legislations? So that's how it rises up, because men failed to provide a system to protect the woman. Now, when it came to Islam, okay, whatever, there is no such thing as feminist, okay? Because as I said, men and women, for the Muslims, they are allies, they are not enemies.
Yes.
So feminism can group women only because they are women. They have a mission towards whom? Because even if you are a woman, either you are a daughter to your father, a man, or you are a sister with a brother, so a man, or you have a kid, a son, who is a man,
Yes.
and you have a husband in the constructing family, so he's also a man. You cannot divert or you cannot separate or segregate women as only women for the sake of any mission. But if you are as a woman and you are raising the flag, you want the to protect women from sexual assaults, you will see your religious men are with you. Okay, whether you are a feminist or not, we are with you as Muslims, because that's a legislation that women need to be protected. We need more legislations, we need more system, we need more. So we are with you. So in that sense.
But my understanding is that they are asking to be equal to a man. So it means they don't want a favor from you. They don't want you to treat her better. Like I give example, here in Oman, you have special rules for women in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a privilege if you see a customer who is a female or waiting for an ATM machine. So because she's a woman, you don't want her to stand in the sun. You'd say, you go before me. So
Right.
They don't want this special treatment because I'm a woman, because this makes me feel that I am weaker. But
Right.
in reality, that doesn't make a woman weaker. It is honoring her.
Correct. So that statement itself, is it valid? Is it legit? When we say, can woman be equal with a man? Can a woman be a man? That doesn't make sense, because we know men and women, it's stated in the Quran, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى.
You know, the funniest response I saw for these feminist movement is that someone said, okay, we agree to have equality between men and women. And the first thing we need to do is make all the sports competition mix. So if you have a boxing match between a man and a woman, if you have a weightlifting match, you have between men and women compete. If you have sprinting, 100 meters, you have a man and a woman.
And you don't see them mixing them.
They
right?
will
Even-
never mix.
Yes, even in the Olympics.
They
and
will
these
never
things.
mix.
Correct.
Despite whatever they
Because
say.
they are naturally saying we
Naturally,
cannot be
they are not
equal.
the same,
That's
yeah,
one part.
yeah.
But there is very important point here. There are lots of things, let's say rights. There are lots of issues that really women are not treated as per even the Quran instructions, and no one cares. This is where it emerges, where it attracts women. So let's say divorced women, how you give them the honor to live an honorable life. That's where they feel that men doesn't care, or men don't care actually. So for divorced or for widows, okay, what if she is poor? How to protect her and provide her education? All of these issues, when the callers for the path of Allah leave them, because they are very big responsibility, of course women will speak up. Okay, and that's where this is actually the core problem, that sometimes some of the calls are pure Islamic. So do not oppress women. That's direct instruction, commands in the Quran that you have no right to oppress women. But when the practice or the major practice of men are oppressing women, hitting them badly in a brutal way, there is no justice for them. Of course, they would feel that, and especially if it happens from people who have the character of Islamic figures.
What I am understanding from the statement that you're saying is that the rulings and the teachings that are there in this final revelation is with the woman. It is honoring women. But because we fail to implement these teachings, that's why these feminist movements are arising and asking for
exactly. So I'll give you like a sensitive subject is the multiple marriage. Let's say you have more than one wife.
Polygamy.
Yes. So men immediately took advantage that Allah in the Quran said you can marry 4 wives. But that's not true. It's not as simple as that, because it gives lots of requirements, lots of legislations that even if you have the
and that's why until today me and you have only one wife. Although the privilege is there, but it's not a privilege.
It said if you are even scared, if you are only scared that
Yes.
you cannot take that responsibility, you're not allowed.
Yes.
And that's actually, but no one is highlighting that, because men took advantage of some of the verses in the Quran. That's the core issue. That's the core issue. So even as the practice in legal side, in the legislation at court, there are no set of rules that protect women. So they are scared. And that's true. They are scared because she said, fine, I'll build a family with you. What are the protection legally for me? Said, there is nothing. There is only general statements. So in that claim, they have like a solid argument they base on, where we see that the religious people never spoken of.
Yes.
Let's say what is her exact rights? Said, no, leave it to the conditions. Leave it to the conditions is a very problematic for her, because she is given her life.
Yes.
She's leaving her home to build a family with you. So let's say a guy is cheating, her husband is cheating. What she can do? Said, well, the options are very limited, and that's your luck. But in the Quran, it said no. There are lots of restrictions. There are lots of regulations. There are lots of commands to protect her feelings, even.
I think today a lot of men are going to hate us, but
I think so.
This is the reality. The purpose of today's show is that this final revelation that we have, that we talk highly about it, it's not for just reading it and putting it on the shelf,
right?
Or reading it while prayers without understanding the message and implementing what is there in this message.
Exactly.
Yeah. And because of our lack of implementation of these powerful messages, that's why we have so many problems in this world today.
Absolutely.
The way forward, Engineer Seif, what is the way forward?
The way forward is that you need, first of all, to address yourself as a slave to Allah. That's how you should view yourself. Jesus, peace be upon him, when he presented himself to his nation, he said, Inni Abdullah, Qala Inni Abdullah. I am a slave of Allah. So I am also entitled by the word of Allah, by the Quran today, that whatever the Quran says, we could have arguments in lots of things, okay? But do not justify your acts, your emotions, your deeds based on your desire, regardless what is the situation. As long as you are a slave and you consider your slave, you hear and obey the word of Allah. You hear and you obey. And if anything is not clear, fine. You can discuss. You could have the debates, but for the sake of the truth, not the sake to win the argument.
Engineer Seif bin Muhammad Al Ruhaili, thank you very much for being a wonderful guest on Dome Podcast. and hope we have touched on an important aspect of our life, which is the final revelation. Thank you very much, and see you soon, inshallah.
Thank you, Hatim, for hosting me. It was really a pleasure to be with you here today.
Dear listeners and viewers, thank you very much for watching Dome Podcast. See you next time from me, Hatim Al Abdissalaam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.